Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I am, of course, your host, Meerkat Monarch, sometimes known as James Lillevik, the author of Ismark the Mark Boy. I can't get that enough in there.
Plug.
Yes. With me, as always,
We're gonna
is
put
my...
that on your tombstone.
Yeah. With me, as
Along
always,
with
is
an
my
Amazon link.
Yes, exactly. With me, as always, is my co-host, the never-interrupting Artivous Ira. And
Yes, I never remember.
And special guest today is Angela Hartnight, and we also will be joined by Plippy a little later, and perhaps Dr. Evil. We're not sure, because nobody seems to be able to get a hold of him.
He's missing in action.
Yes.
He's in a coma.
Doing evil plans.
Yes, he's been
He's
overworking
off
his
chasing
evil.
a wallaby.
Yeah. Anyways, first, before we start the show, I thought we would pay some tribute to one of the most influential actor in the geekosphere throughout time who passed away this week, and that was Adam West. And that's the odd thing for me, is that I wasn't aware of Adam West until I got deeper into the geekosphere, but I was aware of the Batman show.
It was a very American thing.
Yeah, but the show was broadcast in Norway as well. The 1960 show, we actually watched that as kids during the 80s, and they sent it on the sort of national broadcast channel.
Right.
Which
was it was an extremely important show because it got a lot of kids into comic books.
Yeah.
That normally wouldn't have been. Like, Batman was cool after that TV show. Like, comic books were still a geeky nerd thing, but everybody watched that. Everybody watched that show.
They made Batman as well. That they it kind of made Batman a thing that they knew it could be possible to put Batman on the screen and people would watch.
Yeah,
that's not always possible with comic book heroes. I mean, there are still a lot of comic book heroes that have never made it to the screen.
Well, they had tried superhero TV shows and whatnot before, and some were moderately successful, but by that time it was considered as something that doesn't make money, so they didn't do it anymore. It was
even at the time
it was considered old hat.
Yeah, it was considered very kitsch, very small time.
Like old radio serials where they considered they worked a lot better, but
yeah.
But it's him, and here's the thing, like, all right, that show was very, very kitschy, and it's very, very of its era, and it's one of those things where it's so bad it's become amazingly good. I do not think Adam West was a good Batman. I think Adam West was the greatest Adam West ever. Because he was something completely different from Batman, but that was so cool and charismatic that you didn't care.
And nowadays it sits in direct contrast to the modern Batman, which is very, very dark, very brooding,
and
very stoic, and lots of tones of grey, and a completely joke, humor, fun-free existence for Batman now. So when you look back at that Batman at that time, you can hardly believe that something like that actually exists, and that there was ever a Batman that was that campy and that fun and that silly. And it's very clear, like the progression of how it started obviously with Tim Burton, but he at least still had some elements of fun and color.
Well, that was Batman. The thing about Adam West Batman. Like, Batman comics, really, really silly. Like, when you go back and read them, and some of the villains and some of the things he did, and just they were.
It was never really designed to be what it is now.
Yeah,
it's all
that whole dark gritty thing
miserable
didn't come after until after that TV show, and there was that whole need to be edgy, and you had Batman Returns, and I think the
And combined
Watchmen.
with Batman the Animated Series, which is
Well, I think the Watchmen comic coming out and kind of changing what people felt you could do with a comic, because after Watchmen, everything became dark and brooding and gritty and whatnot, and you get all of these
Well, the
dark
'60s,
interpretations.
yeah. Well, the '60s in addition was also a time of more
Yeah,
optimism. They thought they could actually change.
yeah,
So a kitschy sort of kid show, almost. Well, it is a kid show. The
yeah,
1960s Batman is a kid show. So
it's
it's
very innocent.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a very innocent show.
hopeful, very blue eyed,
Yeah,
and sort of
It
sorry,
was it was the kind of
Artivous.
thing that kids like parents watched that show with their kids,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
the kind
and
of
they were
thing you
very
watched on the mornings, on the weekends.
yeah, exactly.
like even growing up on reruns and like watching it. It was so goofy as a kid that I loved it.
Yeah,
I
And
mean,
in my heart, but Batman the Animated Series will always top it because that was my Batman as a kid, and that show
yeah,
was
same for
genius.
me. Same for me. I never
But
saw the Adam West Batman growing up, but I saw Batman the Animated Series, and of course he played the Grey Ghost in
yeah,
Batman the Animated
that's
Series.
one of the reasons I actually liked Batman the Brave and the Bold, because it was an animated Batman show that kind of brought back that goofy, innocent campiness of the 60s TV show. And Adam West did some voices for it. But he was the fun Batman.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's it.
what do you?
He one of the funnier stories is I bring up from his memoirs, because his memoirs are good. He he did some weird and funny stuff. I think and this was the one that's been going around that everybody loves and everybody brings up, was when he stayed in character and as Batman, and he brought Robin with him from the show to an orgy, and they wouldn't break character, and they got kicked out of the orgy because they wouldn't break character.
Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing.
Oh, that is. But that again, very '60s. Both
Yeah, he
very
had fun,
'60s as an actor and very
and
'60s
that's
in the milieu
right.
in general. It's and it was a far more innocent time than the time that we live in today. I mean, there was a lot more, as I said earlier, a lot more optimism and
Mm,
and
less cynical.
yeah, less postmodernism. Let's just say it. Say it
Oh
like it
Lord,
is.
I thought we weren't going into politics yet,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to mention it anymore. We're definitely not doing a political stream this Friday. Um,
but I think like in what he said about
yeah,
video games becoming an art form and becoming a superior art form before he died and whatnot. I would just like to point out that that's important,
yeah.
that he said it and he was right, and he said it before a lot of people even acknowledged it or respected it as an art form.
That's another thing about Adam West as well, as there's always when somebody dies, particularly when they're a geek icon, there's always at least somebody with something bad to say about them, that they did something wrong, or that they upset somebody, or that they didn't believe the right thing, or something like that. And
Yeah.
nobody has had anything bad to say about Adam West.
Because he was just a
Nobody.
goofy, silly, happy guy.
Because he seems to have been the nicest guy like ever. Yeah, everybody who met him, everybody who interacted with him seems to have had something
Yeah. So
positive, something good. Seem to have had a really great experience of talking to him, or working with him, or hanging out with him, and that's a rare thing. It's a rare thing.
He never took his fame for granted. I think that was the thing about Adam West, is he did what he did, and he didn't do much afterwards because he was kind of typecast. and kind of blackballed because all Hollywood could see him as was as that Batman character,
Yeah.
which is why he ended up going into voice work and being very successful there. Like I love that he had kind of a second coming in terms of a career later in his life because of voice work. And when Hollywood as a whole kind of rejected him and kind of pushed him aside, the fans never did.
Yeah, people never
And he
forgot.
understood that.
Yeah, the people loved him, and he loved them right back.
Yep.
And there's always a thing with sometimes with geek icons in particular where they can just kind of get a bit sick of or be very resentful of ending up being
Yeah.
typecast and
Well, that's because a lot of them they get in that
Alec
rut and
Guinness.
they get
Alec Guinness is one of them, in my opinion.
yeah, they get stuck in that kind of they want their career to be more than what it is rather than appreciate what it is.
yeah, well, to be fair to Alec Guinness, he had a long and distinguished career before Star Wars, and he didn't expect Star Wars to be a thing at all. He just did it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
He just did that for it. He did not expect Star Wars to be any great thing. And yeah, so he didn't expect to become an icon because of that at all. He already considered himself to be, a very, very talented, very successful, very distinguished actor with a very serious and very, very long career. So yeah, to be fair to Alec Guinness, yeah, he wasn't really expecting
No, it's
much to come from Star
no.
Wars.
Yeah.
He was
And
just, trying to make a living.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm having some problems with this stream right now, so I'm just checking if it's going through at all, but I'm not getting any sort of live feed on the XSplit. But yeah, I really came to love Adam West during his time on Family Guy, which his voice work there was really, really good, and he was one of the really good characters as well. Okay, it keeps on buffering.
Yeah, from what I can see,
It's buffering.
Yeah, I may have to. Um, I'll restart the stream and then we can talk about E3. Sorry about
Okay.
this.
okay.
Just
Are we back?
give me a second. I'll check. Apparently we are live streaming, but I don't know if it's back. Yes, we're back. Sorry about that. I seem to have had some problems with the live stream, so we'll see if it manages to hold up. Yeah, but let's see. Let's talk about what happened this week, apart from the Adam West departure, and talk about the big event E3, because we're doing a show without politics.
E3,
Yes,
the yearly train wreck.
And
finally.
we're talking about E3.
Yes, without politics, please.
I promise nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So what conferences stuck out for you this year, Angela? Oh, sorry, Artivous. Did you want to start?
You go ahead.
you put out that sentence rather slow.
Oh,
That was one
look
we were
who's
going with.
fucking talking. Go ahead. Artemis?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I watch all of them so because I torture myself and I have problems. So
Yeah. So
I'll let
let's.
Angela go first.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I mean, I didn't catch all of E3.
No, me neither.
I thought that Sony's presentation was extremely kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Xbox naffed me off. big time. And of
What?
course EA, to quote my good friend Event, EA and their bullshit.
Yeah.
Particularly with
He has never
Battlefront.
had a good
And
E3
I'm
in
like,
like
I'm not going to watch
this
it. I'm not
decade.
going to watch it. I'm not going to watch the EA. And I was just reading the tweets instead, and I was just getting mad just looking at the tweets.
I watched the highlights from Total Biscuit's Snarkathon.
Oh man, it was cringy.
Oh Jesus! I couldn't watch the entire thing, so I just watched the EA one highlights, and then I watched the Devolver, which we'll talk about later, because that was just
Like,
another thing.
like the whole problem with the EA conferences that they do is they don't realize they're at a gaming conference.
Yeah.
It's like they haven't figured that out yet, and so they're constantly just wasting time on stuff nobody cares about.
It seems like
Like,
they can never make up their mind whether the conference is for gamers or a business
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
realistically,
like they
it's
want to
kind of
do.
supposed to be a business thing, but they've got the wind
It's
now
yeah,
that a lot of
it's like they're
gamers
trying to do
watch.
those. It's like those Apple conferences
Yeah.
where they go, it's like, this is my product and it's going to change the world. Like they want it to be that, but it's not.
And so they try to kind of make it entertaining, but by doing so, they kind of get in the way of what people are actually there for. I mean, when you've got some dickhead YouTubers on stage being all awkward, bumbling,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, get lost, get on away with this, get to the good bit, get to the games. That's what we're here for. We're here for the games. We don't want to see a circus clowns.
If I had a nickel for every time a woman told me to get to the good bit.
Yeah. Or she doesn't want to see a circus clown. That's one that really hurts me.
Yes, both of those are true.
No,
No,
but
but like, okay, the one thing that pissed me off about that conference, well, okay, I like watching the train wreck because I always know their conference is going to be a train wreck. But the whole, hey, we took this thing out of the game before, but now we want you to praise us for us putting back in this feature that should have been in the first
Oh,
place.
and we called you entitled when you complained that we took the
Yeah,
thing out of the game.
yeah, that was the thing. When people got upset, it's like, oh, we're not going to have a story mode, and it's just going to be all multiplayer. And people were like,
Yeah, no single player. And then they're like, this year with Battlefront on the stage, like, look, everybody, there's going to be a single player campaign. Isn't it great? And I'm like, looking at the tweets, and why are you all happy about this? Why are you all praising EA for putting
because
when they shouldn't have even taken that out in the first place? That's
there
part
are
of
okay,
a
you're
basic
forgetting that there's a big
game.
demographic of gamers that are idiots that will buy EA crap no matter how they're getting swindled.
For the fanboys. And it was literally right. We're going to put back all the good
What we
stuff
took out.
that we stripped out and called you entitled for complaining that we stripped out. And now you've got to love us. You're under obligation now to tell us how wonderful we are and pay stupid amounts of money for our game. No, screw you.
yeah,
Screw you, EA.
it's
Damn you to hell.
yeah, and the worst part is that they survive on the fucking FIFA license. And not
Yeah,
just
they do.
not just the FIFA license, but also and there was a bunch of them. And don't get me wrong, I love a good football game. I'm a football fan as well as a geek.
Madden
But
hasn't
it's
been interesting, innovative, or new in 15 years.
exactly it's the same game with minor tweaks every year.
Minor graphical update.
Yeah, so it's not
But they have a
interesting.
story mode. Like, okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
fun. That's cool. Could we get some, more control over the actual player? No. We're gonna teach you how to play football and then not act as though the rest of the team is playing football. That's how you know the fucking thing was programmed
I,
by Americans because they
I
don't understand
honestly,
football.
I don't understand and how the company stays afloat.
No, I agree.
They have a conference at E3 every year. It's always a train wreck. I don't know how they're making money.
Uh,
It's like the tricky people who don't know that they're EA into buying their games, and then
it
they just have to recycle those people out because those people don't buy their games anymore.
as I said, a lot of the people who buy this kind of FIFA, Madden, NFL, NHL uh, type of brands. I realize NFL and Madden is the same fucking thing, but
Yeah.
yeah. But it's those people. They don't really pay attention a lot to the
They
gaming
do,
press.
they
So
do, which is why the sports, competitive gaming scene is dying because of it.
oh yeah.
It's it's pretty much fucking dead.
No, but they still manage to stay afloat because the people keep coming back for those FIFA games every fucking year. It's and it's kind of annoying because that obfuscates the fact that EA has been running around killing every franchise apart from the sport franchises that they've ever laid their grubby little mitts on. It's it's very odd to see, which is why
Yeah.
every year, every EA or every E3, I
Every
watch.
EA.
Yeah, every
are
EA.
we, are we, turn, are we
Oh
turning that into a
God,
phrase? I'm okay with turning that into a phrase.
yeah. Well, every
God, why'd you
E3.
have to EA it up?
Yeah. Why
Stop
did you
being
go and
such an
eat?
EA.
Yeah.
What the EA
Full
is wrong with
EA.
you?
Yeah. Stop that, EA. Stop it. Sort of. Yeah. It's stop that, you EA. Um. No, but it's every E3. I don't watch the live EA conference. I watch the Snarkathon from Total Biscuit instead. Because,
Nobody. It's become a thing where people make fun of it, and
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
I'll.
that's done that for years. I mean, there used to be like the E3 abridged videos that Matt Lees used to do
yeah,
before he turned into a complete arsewipe, and things like that. That was always a thing with E3. As soon as they realised that people were watching it, that weren't just on the business side, that actually gamers were watching it. That there was always a market for right. Let's take the piss out of this. Let's make fun because it's always kind of goofy and always kind of a bit silly and a bit up itself, and yeah, they always take it very seriously. But I mean, this year's E3 in particular was just so, for me, just so very meh. There was nothing massively exciting, and it always kind of started out like they would tease you with something exciting,
yeah,
like Beyond Good and Evil 2. Ooh, oh, it's a prequel. Oh, it's not even in development yet. Oh, fuck.
yeah,
There was always that initial spark of
Right.
excitement, and then they'd immediately kill it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately.
E3 is
Yeah, I
like a
think that's kind of
really
the
bad
same thing.
stripper. Really bad
I think
stripper.
that's
Just, you want to see
it.
these? Oh, you want to see these? You want to see these?
She's
Yeah,
she's really right because that's pretty much what every conference was like.
yeah.
Where it's
Yeah, they were like,
honestly, I don't see the point in the conferences. The showroom floor stuff, people getting their hands on stuff, seeing that
oh yeah, the
that's great
backstage
because
stuff, the on the floor stuff is always really great.
that's the better stuff. That's
Yeah,
because all the
Yeah,
people who go to E3 and then do videos and show off stuff from the people who actually know gamers that is like here they're better at marketing these products than the people who are doing these gigantic conferences that serve no other purpose than to make them feel like they're selling Apple products.
yeah,
it's
That's one
basically
of the
just
like
self-aggrandizing. It's basically just the game
yeah
industry wanking every
yeah
year.
that's
It's
why
big masturbatory show that they do every year where they can have
Microsoft
a
conference
self-congratulatory wank. And that's
Microsoft
all E3
conference
is.
was peak that.
yeah.
We're going to bring out this extremely expensive car so you don't realize that the system is overpriced that we're trying to sell you.
And we're going to call it the Xbox One X.
It's like they don't have
What?
it's like they only have like three words in the vocabulary to name their consoles.
Yeah.
The jokes, though, immediately.
That was a joke.
I
No,
love the
that was literally a joke.
So funny.
yeah.
When the Xbox One was first announced, that was one of the jokes that made the rounds online about what the special version of it that was eventually going to come out was going to be called, or the next one.
Yeah.
And that was one of the joke names that people were making fun of it for, and that's what they named it.
Yep. Xbox
And it would be
One
different.
X.
What
It
was the
wouldn't.
one I saw? Xbox One X, Xbox One XX, Xbox One Triple X Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't bring up Xander Cage, please.
I
I know
love
you still saw from that Artivous.
That movie hurt me, dude.
I can't believe you haven't gotten over fucking Triple X yet.
You haven't watched it, okay? You don't understand.
That's because we're smart.
Yeah.
That's see.
Yeah, we
I get that I'm a masochist.
Yeah.
I get that I do this to myself, but still, you don't know the struggle, Jack. You don't.
Is this
No,
is
but
this is this another sort of I'm not black thing that I don't understand?
no. See, why has it always got to be a black thing? God damn it, Jack.
Artivous, show us where the bad movie touched you.
Here.
No, but
Into
No,
on
but
the
that Microsoft's whole conference was just, we know you want to bring out the new Xbox. That's what we want to see. Just bring it out. And the rest of it was just circle jerking around
yeah.
to fucking get to it. And then they finally get to it. It's like, okay, that was the only thing anybody else cared about at your freaking conference.
That's one of the reasons why I
except
didn't
for
watch
one
it. That's why I
other
didn't watch it.
Probably the biggest nuke in the fighting game community I've ever seen. It's not Xbox One exclusive, but it was at the Microsoft conference where they showed the trailer for the first time for Dragon Ball Fighters Z. For those people who aren't informed, let me give you some back history. All right. There were considered three companies that are the great fighting game companies all the way back in the day. And it was Capcom was always the front runner, always considered the king, always like you bought Capcom fighting games just period. They were the best. But there were always the third, the second and third freaking place companies that still made good quality, but they never got that shine and never got that attention. And
Yep.
those were SNK and Arc System Works. Guilty Gear has been around forever. So is King of Fighters. These were companies besides Capcom that had really good fighting pedigree. And even though they weren't top dog, they were still respected. If you've watched a few of these streams, listened in, and heard me complain about Capcom over the last couple of years, you have known
This
that
is
me
like
and
with me and
Capcom's
postmodernism. You need to stop. We need to rescue you from your Capcom hatred.
No, I'm with Artivous on this one.
I'm not
Okay.
denying it. I'm not denying
The
it,
thing
but I'm
is,
just recognizing
I'm just giving history.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, Capcom has slid in quality for a while. That's why Inafune was able to take advantage of people with Mighty Number 9 and the Kickstarter, because Capcom just doesn't give its customers what it wants anymore. Even though we're begging for it and asking for it and shaking them by the freaking collar, give us this, they give us stuff we don't want. And the first big fuck up was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, because it had on disc DLC. And that's a big pet peeve with the fighting community. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that the characters are finished and on disc and playable,
Yeah.
but you have to pay to unlock them.
I remember that.
Because when the game came out,
yeah.
people basically hacked the disc and were using the characters that were already on disc online. and were getting banned for it and
And they
whatnot.
get banned.
And it killed the game because they did this. This was the first like kind of wait a minute, they don't know what the fuck they're doing kind of moment. And then the whole Street Fighter V debacle that still isn't fixed. The entire fighting game community kind of shits on it. Even the guys who basically play it for a living and play it in tournaments have blatantly said that it's because of the money that they're still playing it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
have
you
been
always got
making.
your fanboys, but they're
Well, that was the
very,
thing.
very few
Even
and
the
far between.
fanboys, even the fanboys have been shitting on this game. And all of that would have been okay if this year, okay, this year, one after another, there has been one fighting game after another that's been better than Street Fighter coming out. All those companies that felt like second fiddle to Capcom said, you know what, we're coming for your throat. Guilty Gear Xrd is amazing. Um, King of Fighters, amazing. Tekken 7 just came out, and it is amazing.
I've heard good things. Heard good things
People
about it.
who, yeah, people who basically have been playing Pro Street Fighter and competing Pro Street Fighter their whole life have been switching over to Tekken to play Pro. It has a Street Fighter character in it, and they did Akuma better than Akuma is in Street Fighter Five.
I mean, it's not just in the fighting games, though, is it? I mean, Capcom has been letting all
Yeah,
their
as a company.
licenses just.
Yeah,
I mean,
they've
the only
no
reason that
Mega
people,
Man, no.
yeah, the only reason that people accepted and are so hyped and are so like forgiving and absolutely wonderfully joyful about Resident Evil 7 is because of what came before it. Resident
Yeah,
Evil
because 6 was
7
so
is
bad.
mediocre at best. But because of how crap Capcom have been, how much they have completely ruined all their licenses over the years, people will accept and take mediocre like it's genius, like it's magnificence reborn.
Right.
Because in
And then
comparison with like
right.
Resident Evil 6 and what
And
they've
5.
done to the
Put 5
franchise.
in there too. Punch the boulder.
Yeah,
And this is
that's how it is with
where
Capcom. I mean, you've not just got Dragon Ball, you've got Marvel vs.
right.
Capcom Infinite.
This is why the nuke happened. Arc System Works, they work on a lot of good stuff. They rarely ever make a bad game because they're not a big company. They're not really as well known as Capcom or some of the other Japanese companies, so they can't afford to put out crap. Um, they make a Dragon Ball Z game. Okay.
Yep.
First of all, the fighting game community has been begging for a 2D Dragon Ball Z game since the Xbox freaking the original Xbox. Do we call it the original Xbox One or is it just the
I
original Xbox?
I think it will be the original
The
Xbox.
OG Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't. Since then, there hasn't been really a Dragon Ball 2D fighter. Not done, well. They come out and make this game with XR graphics where the damn thing looks like it's an animated TV show. It's 3 versus 3, shitting on Capcom for Capcom's Marvel series. Looks amazing. Says, "Oh yeah, we're only 20% done," but it looks better than anything Capcom has put out in the past 3 years. Now, the reason this is so important is will milk a couple of franchises. They will milk Street Fighter, they will milk Resident Evil, and they'll milk Marvel versus Capcom because they have the Disney license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dragon Ball Fighters Z looks amazing. And it would have been left at that. It's like that looks really cool. I'm really into that. That's really cool, but it doesn't come out till next year. And then during the Sony conference, we got to see Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
It's horrendous. It looks like they've given every Capcom character Down syndrome.
The models themselves look worse than the last Marvel vs. Capcom game. People, there are comparison screens freaking everywhere of Dante and Chun-Li,
Yeah,
where in the last game they looked better than they do in this game, and that would be okay if this wasn't a game that was coming out in September. This isn't a game that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
This is a game that's coming out in September, and it looks this bad.
it looks awful.
Now,
The
let me tell you the details of why this game sucks so bad already, and it's already dead in the water for diehard, and I'm talking about diehard fans who are going to buy it regardless. They're like, no. First of all, the game Marvel games are 3 versus 3. That's always the way it's been because it works with the combat. This game is going to be 2v2.
Oh,
All right.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, one of the bigger mechanics of these Marvel games were tag-ins or tag
Yeah.
team moves
Tag team.
where
Yeah. Yeah. I
where
remember that from
basically
Tekken Tag. Yeah.
you could basically call in one of your teammates to do a move and then they jump out.
Yeah.
That's always been a staple of the series. It's been in every game and they took that out.
Oh.
And their excuse was, "Oh, we took it out because we felt it interrupted and couldn't deal with the gameplay and whatnot, and it didn't work with our systems right and all this bullshit other than we're too lazy. Basically, we're too lazy to do it." Rewind to Dragon Ball Fighter Z, where not only can you call in your other partners to do moves, you can call them both in at the same time and destroy the environment around you.
Yeah.
They nerfed particular characters and took away the moves because they overly simplified the game. It looks like it's a mobile game because it's probably running on a mobile game engine. They took out there's no okay, the No More Mutants thing from
no,
Marvel
no
ha-
X-Men.
has bled to a Marvel game, and the reason that's really bad is they've been probably some of the most important Marvel characters. Like it's like having a Street Fighter game and not having Ryu and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chun-Li because there's so many Marvel characters that have been mainstay champions like Wolverine, Magneto, Storm, um, all of
there
these X-Men
are
are gone.
there are some theories as to why that isn't with is it Fox? Fox not playing nice.
Well, yes,
E-
it is.
even
It is
even
Um,
the. It's
that
the. It's the. Since it is a Marvel Studios property, Marvel Studios is the one that. Well, not necessarily Marvel Studios, but Marvel Entertainment, which is a part
right.
of Disney. It's just a separate. It's separate from the MCU,
The
but
problem
it's
the
a.
problem with that
Yeah.
is with the last Marvel game, Fox was on board.
Oh yeah, of
yeah,
course, of course.
there,
So
I will say
it
there is a
is.
rumor of a couple of X-Men characters as DLC down the line.
That's the other
There
thing
is a rumor, but
is
I believe it's
the only thing
unsubstantiated.
about that game I was excited about introducing Black Panther, and I'm like, yeah, day one DLC. Fuck! It's like, dude, you got the rest of this looks like trash. You give me some hope, and then you kick me in the nuts. Like,
That's just Capcom all over.
and it's like you can't like it's like they assume that you're not going to go somewhere else. And this year has been the year where other companies are like, well, there's blood in the water and we're going to take you down.
Capcom
Like
have just become allergic to money.
Evo is about to go on. You guys know about Evo, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
J-
Yeah,
Evo's about to go down and nobody gives a shit about Street Fighter 5
yeah.
at
Because
Evo.
yeah,
Street Fighter made Evo and nobody gives a shit. Everybody wants to see the XR um tourney. Everybody wants to see Smash, and everybody wants to see Tekken 7,
Mm-hmm.
since this is going to be the first time that Tekken 7 is out in the US for the tournament. It's been in Japanese arcades for like friggin' 2 years. Um, Longest beta test ever. But they think that because they've been the top so long, it's the only thing that explains it is hubris.
Yeah,
That
of
you would
course.
come out with a product that looks this shoddy, this crappy, and think people weren't going to come for your throat. And Marvel was their last game that they didn't have competition. Like nobody was doing a tag game whatsoever. Nobody really did that. Nobody really touched that. That was Marvel's territory. Now there's a Marvel tournament going on, a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament going on at Evo, because there usually is, because it's still it's not as good as 2 and the original, but it's still a competition worthy game. And I bet money all of them are going to be doing a side tourney with what they can play of, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see like this kind of happen, where even people that are just like when Daigo, Mr. Ryu himself, Evo moment number 37, when asked about Street Fighter 5, just goes meh.
Yeah.
You're you're
Mm.
you're done.
Yeah.
So like Evo next year is going to be hilarious to see, because like the tournaments are voted upon.
Yeah.
Like the games that show up on Evo at Evo for tournaments, those are voted on by the community.
So it's
And
probably not going to be Street Fighter 5,
there's a possibility it's not going to be there next year.
which would
And it
be,
would be the first time ever
oh Jesus.
in the entire tournament's history of runs. Like,
Yeah. Well, should we get back to E3? We can do like
yeah,
an Evo thing, one that has happened. Because I'm guessing you're not going to be there, are you? At Evo.
at Evo?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, but
I freaking wish, but
we could talk about one
if
thing.
anybody wants to give me get me tickets and give me,
Yeah.
pay
So
for a hotel room and buy me a fucking plane ticket,
There,
I'll fucking go and cover that shit for you like a
yeah.
champ. But
Yeah.
okay, are we going to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins?
yes,
I
I'm gonna let
used to love
you field
that
this one.
game series. Ubisoft, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They don't know what they're doing.
Oh Jesus, it
They're
hurts.
just trying to. It's like when they made the pirate one, and everybody
Black
loved
Flag.
it. Black
Yeah.
Flag, because it was so interesting, and it was like, oh, everybody loves the pirates. They didn't love the Assassin's Creed stuff. They love the pirate stuff, and
Yeah.
that should have been its own separate game.
Yeah.
That should have been a new IP, but they were too scared to really do something like that, so they threw it in Assassin's Creed. And this looks like the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
people don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, ancient Egypt, how boring can you get as a setting? It's
Oh
just so
God,
lame. And it's like, come on, guys, you took a break
Yeah.
from
dust and
Assassin's
stone
because
buildings.
every 5 minutes it was Assassin's Creed something, and people were just bored shitless by this point. You took your
Do I get
break,
to do
you
I
took
get
your
to
time,
assassinate Moses?
and,
If I
and
get
we
to
get Assassin's
you know what?
Creed Ancient Egypt.
If
Come
I get to
on.
assassinate biblical figures, then I'm down. Okay.
That sounds a little horrible.
Tell me you wouldn't play that shit. You gotta find Jesus like that.
Wait,
He's
what?
hiding in Egypt or
That's
some shit.
that's a little, I here's I think it could be interesting.
No, they did an evil
But
George
no,
Washington for you
let
to
me
assassinate.
let me finish because I do think it would be interesting, but I to put it in that period. But Egypt is the least chaotic civilization at the time that they want to do it. They should have done Assyrian or Sumerian or something in that area, because there's a lot more chaos. And the good thing as
Aztec would
well,
have been interesting.
yeah, yes, Aztec would be excellent, because we don't know as much about that, so they can tug it a little longer than they may need to. Why do you have to put it in civilizations we know a lot about?
Because they don't know because that takes research and that takes work.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft doesn't like the work, dog, man.
I'm gonna tell Ubisoft,
they've been making the same game for like 15 years, man. Like you can't expect them to, a tiger doesn't change
People
its
keep
stripes,
buying it and people keep playing it. It's like, why? The only innovation
and I don't
in
care
this
if you
series
call it
died out long
Assassin's
ago.
Creed or you call it whatever, Watch Dogs, or it's all the same fucking game.
Ubisoft, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Marvel. Hire me and I will fix your fucking franchise, okay? Just do it. People know this already. There's so much.
It's not a writing issue. It's them being extremely chicken shit as a company.
Yes.
They don't take chances.
No.
They don't do new stuff.
I'm just gonna intrude here for a second, because I just, out of curiosity, Googled Far Cry 5, and two top stories. One was Far Cry 5 is exactly what you expect, and the other one was Far Cry 5 includes animal sex.
What? What?
I just think that's
Which one was the one that said exactly what you expect? Let me guess. It was Kotaku or Polygon?
No, it's in the Metro. No, Polygon is the one with animal sex.
Oh, that shouldn't fucking surprise me that they went searching for that specifically.
I just love though that
Are they sure that's not just a fucking Ubisoft bug? Because, Ubisoft. I love their new logo,
in Far Cry 4, you could drive and hit a wall even though there was nothing there.
Yeah.
This was something that a glitch that me and my husband found when we were playing, is that we're driving down this road and suddenly you hit something, only there's nothing there. It's just a road.
Yeah, well, it's
They're
Ubisoft.
lazy.
It's Ubisoft. Their new logo is a shit seen from the top.
So I was wondering when one of you was gonna bring that up, that their new logo was literally shit from the sky.
Yes, and the thing is, I used to love Ubisoft because I used to be a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed series. I was a fan on every game all the way to Rogue, and then they started collapsing.
Oh, I stopped way.
No, I know.
They killed it with 3 for me.
Yeah, I understand why people hate 3, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but 3 was a laborious fucking job, but it did include ship combat as well, and that's why I'm okay with it.
For me, it was when they started to move away from the whole
sneaky assassin.
Well, they started to move away from the genetic memory.
Stuff
and all that kind of thing, and then they started and they made it into a game, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That was the thing. They wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Because of the first game, and because of that, the story had to have an ending.
But they wanted to keep
making. They wanted to keep making Assassin's Creed games, but they know the storyline wouldn't really allow it.
No, exactly.
The Assassin's Creed series should have been 3 games at the most, in terms of storyline, to get that whole genetic memory storyline thing fixed.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make money.
Yeah, and
so they kept.
Yeah, Sorry, go ahead.
coming up with weird ways to try and prolong this
To try
story. And
yeah, and it was just such bullshit, such completely flimsy, transparent bullshit and it just made me completely lose interest
Yeah, and as a
in
writer,
all of it.
as someone who, is trying to write for a living, it's really annoying to see people having a job and then not finishing their goddamn narrative, because we never get a fucking answer when it comes to that. And I realize that that's supposed to be it. It's supposed to be mystique. It's supposed to be weird. No, no, no. Not every fucking thing you make needs to be a fucking hallucinogenic trip. Okay, Ubisoft, you can stop it. It's
if they actually did that right and did that well, that'd be different.
oh
But
yeah. It's just
But
it's
yeah, it's getting to the point where they literally might as well have somebody on screen saying a wizard did it.
yeah.
And that's it.
It's
A wizard
it's
did it.
they're using the Deus Ex Machina as they're using the mystique as Deus Ex Machina so that they don't have to finish the goddamn backstory, which is
They
the
get-
most
they get
important
the thing.
fucking part of that story.
But you literally get dickheads who are like, well, it's because that way because it's a video game. I'm sorry, that's not good enough.
no, that's not an excuse for
That's
shit,
not good
man.
enough at all. It's the stories like that because it's a video game, and I've had this as well with other games. I had somebody with this with Outlast 2 a little while ago. But the
Yeah.
choice is it's like that because it's a video game. No, sorry, not good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if you
Outlast 2 was just.
yeah,
Shit.
if you're gonna
Crap.
base yourself on having this huge narrative in your game, there needs to be a payoff
Why'd you
for people
Why'd you have to
on
open
the
the Outlast 2 wound, by the way?
I know, I know. It's
You know what? No,
it
fuck
hurts.
it.
It
I have
still
to go there.
hurts. Okay.
The problem with Outlast 2 is, okay, I get that what you're trying to do. I get you trying to tell this story, and the story is kind of good, but you can't have the whole side him going insane, elementary school child molestation thing going on the side and not have it have anything to do with the actual story itself.
Yeah, it didn't connect in any way.
If it had
Outlast 2
connected at
annoyed me
any
so
point,
much that I
it would
wrote a
have worked.
review of it.
But it has absolutely nothing to do with what he's going through now. It
Doesn't
it, it
connect in any
the
way.
trauma that he went through back then has absolutely nothing to do with what he's going through now, and never
All
connects.
it does is completely pull a drag shoot and kill the tension in the first half.
Yeah, it's like, you're getting chased by some crazy,
And then suddenly you're in a school corridor and you're like,
and
oh,
suddenly,
wait,
yeah,
what?
suddenly you're in a classroom, and it's like, okay.
No, what really naffed me off about Outlast 2 was the mechanical choices. The fact that I know it's supposed to be a run and hide survival game, but and that makes sense when it was in a psychiatric hospital and the inmates were all really
Yeah.
supernaturally strong, and there was only you and your camera, and there were no weapons. Every weapon to be had already been taken by the inmates. This is not true. This time, this guy's in like a town.
Okay.
There's weapons everywhere.
You can walk
yourself,
away
you
from the
mouse.
town. It's not there's not you could, or when you're trapped in a mental hospital, you're trapped. You couldn't get out. That's the whole premise of the beginning of the
That
game, is
made
you get
sense.
thrown in there and you can't get out. But when there's a bunch of crazy people hanging around the town.
Yeah, there's a woman who wants to stick a pickaxe in your balls, and all you're doing is shoving a camera in her face.
Yeah,
What?
just leave the town. Like, even they say, it's like, well, your girlfriend isn't even in this town. She's up in the mountains. Like, why don't you automatically go? It just.
And what's he gonna do? That was always the thing when I was playing. It's like, when you find your wife,
Yeah, what
exactly are you gonna do? You're gonna point a camera in
her
her
answer is, Angela? He got raped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what
that
happened.
was about it. Yeah. It drove me nuts. And then you watch the footage that he's recorded. Again, while you're playing, and he's like narrating over
Yeah,
the
he's
top
doing
of the footage
he
that
took
you've
time to do
recorded.
voiceovers.
In as if it's for an audience, and I'm like, you're a complete fucking idiot. You're a dickhead, and I want you to die. I want them to
Like
kill
if he
you.
had said this stuff while you were filming, that'd be one thing. But
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just
it's a
like
second
there was
set of
literally one
dialogue
point.
when you look at the clips.
There was one point
Like
where
he had time
yeah,
to script
you
it.
find a woman who's tied to a bed, and she's like clearly a rape victim. And then you watch the footage again, and he says, "This is where the magic happens." That's his narration for that.
Oh,
This
God.
multiple rape victim who's going to get pregnant and is going to die, or is not. She may well be dead already. You don't know. You can't check. Can't check if she's dead or not. And he's literally like, "Yeah, this is where the magic happens." And I'm like, I want you to fucking die. I want to kill you. I want Marta to stick a pickaxe in your
well,
balls right
well,
now.
well. At least his baby isn't real.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, because like, ooh.
Oh, that was a deep rabbit hole.
Sorry for the detour.
Dude, you brought it up, and the pain just.
Yeah, I know. I
Back to
know.
E3.
God damn it.
Yeah. So
The problem.
The Sony conference, or do you want to finish the Nintendo conference?
Well, okay, that's no. We'll leave the Nintendo conference to last because
Yeah.
they won. Now Sony's conference was basically more of the same. It's like every Sony conference. Like
Yeah.
they show you some things you actually care about, and then the rest of it is just like nobody was asking for Knack 2. Okay, can Sony please admit that nobody wanted Knack 2?
Well,
Yeah.
We didn't
apparently
want
not.
Knack 1.
Yeah.
But
Same old. Oh,
and they had the
sorry.
Marvel trailer, which was the great icing on that shit cake.
Sorry, people on motorbikes.
Oh yeah. No,
No
no worries.
worries.
It's
Um.
like I'm about to say everybody's golf. Really?
Yeah.
That's what you're coming up with for us? Come
Well,
It
on.
was.
it's the typical thing with Sony every year.
It's like they really
It's
had nothing to
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
It's
right. Horizon
every
Zero
year.
Dawn
It's
DLC.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's last year
Shoving more
was.
VR down your throat.
Well,
VR is dead, Sony. Let it the fuck go.
Just let
Nobody
it die.
cares.
The only
Nope.
decent thing I would say from Sony was Monster Hunter World. The only decent thing I would say that is.
Like, yeah. About the whole VR thing, the only time I've ever seen VR as something gamers actually wanted to play and would have fun with was with Resident Evil 7.
yeah.
Worked really well for that.
It, it
Oh,
did.
oh shit! You
It
went
did.
all robot. You okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You're fine now.
It worked really well for Resident Evil 7, and it hasn't worked well for anything else. Nobody wants to buy those headsets. Nobody wants to get those things. They are a pain in the ass to buy
Well, yeah, they're
and
getting to the
use.
point now where they're talking about like second gen VR because they want to get as far away from first gen as possible because it's been kind of a bit of an embarrassment, really.
Because it's not a gaming peripheral. You want to know what you use VR for?
Porn,
Yeah.
I was gonna say teaching medicine,
porn,
but
Porn.
yeah, porn
porn.
and
I'm
porn.
just glad
It's
Angela said it
it,
first,
yeah, I
because otherwise the jokes, the regular jokes, would pop up.
no, it's the kind of thing where you use like VR is an amazing tool for teaching, anatomy and teaching porn, but
God.
teaching medicine and all of these like VR has a bunch of other uses and that are really really good and interesting, and none of them are gaming.
Yeah. Well, for now, at least, I think eventually VR gaming will be a thing. It's just it's taking a long
Believe it or
ass
not,
time.
strapping a car battery up to your head, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Or there is some sort of internal cell type hologram type dealy. Then yes, I do believe it's going to
The
be a thing.
problem with VR, and this is the thing, is they can't marry like the visual thing. So I mean, the whole idea of VR is virtual reality. You're in there, you're in that world, everything you see. But they can't marry that with the mechanical aspect of having to play a
Yeah,
game,
what makes a game?
of having to push buttons and do sequences of events. That they can't marry those two concepts at the moment. So it's either a case of you're in your VR headset, the expensive headset that you've played for, and everything looks really, really cool, but you can't do anything
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's all about how it looks. It's all about it looking real. And it's not realistic for you to be in this absolutely gorgeous looking world, but having to push buttons to do things. That's not realism. That's not virtual reality. So, to be honest, I don't think VR and gaming, I don't know if that's ever really going to become
yeah,
a thing, literally because of the fact that it's gaming, because it's you have to be able to do something mechanically in order to make it into a game rather than just ironically a walking simulator.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I do think it's possible. I do think it's possible. And Plip has
If
joined
it is, then
us.
it's a long
yeah. If
way.
Everyone,
it's the Matrix,
everyone, calm down. I'm here. Instantly, if I suddenly vanish, it means my PC's buggered up again and I'm throwing a dicky fit. So that's what happens if I suddenly vanish.
Okay, good.
we're arguing about the validity of VR, Flippy.
Yeah, because
Um,
Sony focused a lot on it, apparently.
I love it. We're not going to release the same game every time. I love it that Nintendo have a reputation of releasing the same game, well, doing sequels to the same game every time. And then Bethesda, you like that game? Here it is again in VR.
Skyrim again.
Full price. Oh my god, it's like Bruce Lee actually said that thing. Like, he doesn't fear the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks, but he fears the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. I fear Todd Howard at this point. Jesus.
To be fair, the Todd Howard memes have been outstanding.
Yes, they
Oh,
are
fabulous.
They're
I think
kind of
I think someone from B modded him into Persona. as a character that keeps following you around and asking if you've bought his game or not.
Yeah.
awesome.
But there was one game at E3. We're not going to cover the fucking drama around it because everybody else has talked about it. But I saw the trailers for The Last Night, and wow,
It looks good.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really good.
For someone who's always railed against the modern type of, this current idea of like, I like retro pixel art, it's cool and trendy, and I've always thought, well, can you do anything else? Because I look at the old LucasArts games and they're putting a lot more detail into their pixel art than you are, mate. But this clearly is what I liked about that. It's got a lot of detail, a lot of little things, and each individual pixel that represents stuff. It's gorgeous. Looks great. Can't wait to have a go at it.
A lot of references to some really, really good sci-fi and cyberpunk stuff. I mean, obviously, it looks just like Blade Runner, and things like that. And there's other elements as well. Some really good.
It's one of the reasons I can't wait for
you can tell the people that have made this. Yeah, you can tell the people that have made this really know the environments, really know the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the last night looks gorgeous.
Other than it being really, really pretty, what I wanted to see was more of gameplay and how it actually plays and what's the mechanics of the actual game.
Mm.
Like the trailer, rocked my world, but it's one of those things when a trailer rocks your world, you're like, okay,
you're bracing yourself for the hurt.
Yeah.
I think I made this reference earlier. I think if it is pretty much a carbon copy of Flashback, I will be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one else played Flashback?
Yeah. Can't say fairer than that.
So is it time to talk about the winner of E3?
Well,
Was there one?
Is it Mario with a sombrero?
Yeah.
Yes, Nintendo won. And Nintendo won because it had more than one cool thing to talk about.
Well, aren't we all
It won
winners
by
for having
default.
watched E3 conferences?
Nintendo won by motherfucking default.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
I
didn't
like.
even show any gameplay for Metroid. They just put a logo on the screen and everybody lost their
And
shit
everybody,
and
yeah.
evacuated their bowels and enjoy a celebration at finally getting a fucking Metroid game after how
I
many
don't know.
console generations?
I like the idea of the PC day getting its own little award because it was in many ways the best, purely out of the cringe factor, always lovely, and their special VR showroom when they have these people playing VR and in the background you see one guy walk into a wall wearing the headset.
I saw that.
And he just like stumbles around and going, VR is the way of the future.
Thing. When you use VR, you look fucking retarded, and there's no way to stop it. Like, there's nothing you can do to make using VR look cool to somebody walking by.
Yeah, what's
You
worse?
just look like you're waving your hands sporadically, and you're trying to fondle God's balls or some shit. Like, you can't.
What would you rather look like? A crazy man who's suffering from listening to the voices and saying stuff? Or would you rather look fat on your couch? There's your options. What would you rather people walking in on you doing?
Yeah.
Also, if I'm wearing VR,
That whole
someone taps me
VR
on the
porn
shoulder, I'm
argument
freaking
comes
out.
up there again, Angela.
I don't know if they can make. The thing about VR is like if you want to do it on your own in a room where you know no one's going to walk in on you, I'm with it. But then again, the chances of me falling over and dying are 1-to-1 in that situation. I want someone to.
It's just there's nothing. There's like all VR does is add a different vantage point to the games you're already playing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't add anything mechanically. They don't add anything really new.
I think they do. They can if they're done well. But I haven't seen
It's stuff that was
it.
okay. Do you remember those? Because there were still arcades around pretty prevalently in the '90s, and they used to have these VR machines where people
Yes.
where they would strap that gigantic freaking helmet on your head and put those stupid like fucking trigger things in your hands.
People falling all over the place. It was great.
Yeah,
That's why everyone played the Formula 1 game. That's why everyone played the Formula 1.
And here's the thing: those games, in terms of mechanics, to the VR games that you see now, there's no difference mechanics wise.
No.
Nothing in terms of actually playing the game and mechanics has evolved in fucking 20 years. 25 years.
It's still
Hasn't
big
changed one
paddles
bit.
in your hands and you looking
Yeah.
like an idiot.
The graphics have gotten better, but the mechanics themselves haven't evolved at all.
And you still need you still need a room dedicated
And
to
you
you.
still need a huge fucking helmet.
Yeah.
And a room dedicated
An
to
empty padded room.
Yeah.
They should install like VR headsets in every insane asylum.
No.
Yeah, they wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if you want an accurate depiction
no,
of VR,
no.
watch those. Go to
Too many things inside those helmets could be used to break out. You do not want to give the inmates.
Go to the Shrieking Let's Play Markiplier and watch his VR videos and see how many times he jumps into his own ceiling, or just goes "ow."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even if you do find yourself immersed in whatever you're playing, you're gonna hurt yourself if you lose track of the fact that you're still in the real world.
Well, yeah, I'm going to instinctively try to run, and I'll smack into something. I will.
That is why I'm saying that this should have been like an arcade move instead of starting as a home, sort of like a home-owned device.
Yeah,
They
but
should have
outside Japan. Outside Japan, where do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't want them to be dead. I want them to be really, really alive. But arcades outside of Japan are dead.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that it is. It's what I would have hoped they could have done instead of what they actually did.
When
So,
they tried that in the 90s, it was hokey as fuck.
Yeah,
yes,
but people loved it.
in the 90s, it was...
No, nobody loved it. Everybody loved it until they saw the freaking price. You
Yeah.
remember how much it was, like fucking $15? Hey, you want to play a video game for $15? Or you could put 50 cents into that arcade machine over there and have a whole lot more fun. Do you want to spend $15 on looking like a complete jackass as people point and laugh at you as they walk by because you can't see them through the freaking helmet mocking you, or do you want to play Street Fighter?
Well, if you don't see them, they don't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a small child.
Yep.
I can feel the laughter.
I can smell the mockery.
I can smell the mockery.
Hey, Artivous playing VR on his own in his own house, but every now and then he raises up the visor just to check.
Yeah.
I would, dude. I'm so conscious.
The gods are laughing at me.
Don't you judge me.
So, yeah. Well, Nintendo definitely won, but I
by and large,
yeah.
You can be a T-Rex.
But before
Mario T-Rex.
Yeah. But before we end the entire thing, we need to talk about I don't know what it was, but the thing that was the Devolver press conference.
I still don't know what in the fuck that was.
They did not care.
No.
No, they said on Twitter, like when people were saying this was the worst conference ever, they literally replied to someone, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. It's everything that the Sony, it's everything that the EA conference basically was, but more honest.
Yeah, they made a parody conference making fun of conferences.
Yeah, and it was so fucking surreal as well. Sorry,
I think my favorite line of the whole one is, it's multiplayer only. It's only $20. None of the $60 multiplayer only bullshit you get.
Yeah.
And they had this guy with a suit standing next to him, just going, "Oh no, I've just spent all this time hyping up all these other multiplayer only games at $60." He just had this look of just this frozen smile of, "Oh boy."
The whole we're going to sell the ending to you. Like they did that in there, and when they did that joke, and I was like, "That's funny," but you know it's going to happen in a year or two, where companies are literally going to start selling you the ending to games.
Mass Effect.
It's fucking happening with Final Fantasy 15 right now.
Mass Effect.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was my thing, and that was what I tweeted about Final Fantasy 15. Is that will this new version of Final Fantasy have the rest of the game? Apart from those obvious points where it's quite clearly just all been cut out, when it literally railroads you. It literally railroads you once you can tell they run out of time because you were literally on a train railroading through the rest of the plot points to the end of the game.
Did you see the voting thing they had, the survey?
No, is it now?
All right, basically a couple weeks ago, if you turned on the game, they had you take a survey of basically a list of content you wished was in the game. Basically a vote, and they were going to try and put that content in the game. And you look at this list, and the problem with playing Final Fantasy 15 is as soon as you get to the waterfront city.
Yep.
And that's basically digital Venice.
Yeah, that's the end of the game. In terms
of the actual game, the end of the freaking game, and you're like, oh, okay, the other half of the game isn't here, and you feel for the rest of the game, like you get hints of like content everywhere, like the dark version of the world that you loved, like you
frozen
through this
god,
world
the
and
ending city, everything was just like a snippet, and you could tell this was even that bit when you get off that train for 30 seconds to see the Ice Queen thing. That was supposed to be its own
People
world.
have glitched it and traveled around that entire countryside. It's in game.
Yep.
And when you look at everything that went along with it, and then they give you this survey, and you read through the list of like 20 things that they're asking you, or which do you want? And it's like, oh, here's where the other half of the fucking game is.
Mm-hmm.
Explanations to stuff that they don't explain properly in the game.
I actually went out and bought that animated film of Final, the precursor of Final Fantasy 15. And
There's more storyline in it than the actual game.
Oh no, that wasn't struck me. It's like, wow, they dumped a load of shit to make the game. I mean, just lore just tossed out the window. I mean, stuff in that film does not match up with what happens in game. The story is flat out different. The characters are the same, but the film was what they were going for. And clearly, when the new guy took over, and he was given 18 months to get this thing out.
Yeah.
With no budget, and it's just like, oh god, how the hell did this end up happening?
And then when you watch the animated series, the Brotherhood anime, and you're like, none of this stuff should have been in an anime. All of this stuff should have been in game to flesh out the characters, because it's the storyline that you'll want to be thrust in. Because without it, you really have no idea who these four guys are in terms of their relationship towards each other. You just know, oh, they're four guys on a road trip, and they kind of know each other. But the anime actually explains their relationships and who these people are.
20 plus hours of gameplay in that first world alone, and then you go, haha, I'm going to go across the ocean and fight in the second world, and then maybe there'll be a third and a fourth. But no, it's like, no, that world was it.
Yeah, they tease you with the Dark World. You literally drive by. It's like, can we get out of the car and fight things?
No, you just have to look at them and just take the guy explaining things to you and just carry on.
Like when you look at the list, one of the things that really pissed me off was what Ifrit's portrayal is on there, and that's for people who have realized that that's a big part of the storyline, that he betrayed the gods and humanity and turned on them, which started the whole problem in the first place. And the only explanation you ever get of that is in loading screens for the game.
Or if you go to the wiki, which I had to do to figure out
text on screen is the only way, and it may not even be shown to you. And that was one of the options on the voting thing was, oh, we could actually explain this part of the storyline that kind of triggered and caused the entire storyline.
Also, the ending. What the hell happened? That'd be nice to know.
I know what happened. It just doesn't make any sense.
Am I dead? Did she come back to life? What?
You're dead. Your friends are dead. She's dead.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
Everyone's dead.
Like literally, everybody dies in that game.
Everybody's dead, Dave. Everybody is dead.
Dave. Everybody is.
Are you saying? Are you trying to tell me that everybody's dead?
The only person that I think I'm sure is alive by the end of the game is Iris and the goofy little kid that used to collect dolls.
I love the fact that the American is not getting the Red Dwarf references.
Oh, well, some people you just can't help.
Yeah, I know.
But speaking of paying for the ending, there are some rumors. You're going to love this, Artivous. There are some rumors that the DLC for Outlast 2 will focus on the tower, the radio tower that you see in the game.
Oh,
and
the actual explanation for why things are going on.
It may explain the bullshit ambiguous ending.
The baby isn't real. We figured out the baby isn't real.
And then
if you go through it and you actually pay attention to Outlast 2, you realize that he might have just been wandering around by himself the entire game, and nobody was actually chasing him. It was just all in his head. It's a distinct possibility that entire game is a hallucination on his part.
Could well be. But the ending was such bullshit and so ambiguous. And if they sell people...
He walked into a light.
If they explain...
They gave it the ending from Lost.
If they charge people extra, make them pay for DLC to fully explain that, I am going to flip the fucking table and completely go nuts.
I heard rumors of that when the game first came out, and I'm like, it doesn't surprise me.
That's gonna
because they had DLC for the first game.
For me, it was similar to BioShock Infinite, and and they kind of half-assed the ending, and then they kind of filled in the gaps with
We're gonna
very
fix it
C
later, I
DLC.
swear.
Am I the only person who completely understood the ending of Bioshock Infinite?
Yes, I think you are.
I
It makes
understood it.
perfect
I just
sense.
thought it sucked.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I went,
No,
ooh.
I hated it. Hated it.
Oh, I loved
It
it.
was
It would
such
have
a
been great if
cop-out.
it was a separate IP, but I hated it because it had the Bioshock name on it, and it's like, this is not a Bioshock game.
It was such a cop-out ending.
I didn't think so. I thought it was pretty strong. Multiple
No.
realities and all that malarkey.
But then I'm one of
Suicide is
those
the
weird people who
answer.
prefers the second one over the first one.
I don't.
Ooh, those fighting words.
You
I
guys
don't
want
know. I look at
to?
it different ways.
It's probably because I played the second one first.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
getting a bit off track here. You guys want to cover the movie stuff before we end the stream?
Yeah, let's hit it real quick.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman comes out this week in my country, and
Go see it. It's good.
It's good.
I will. And
I
Hillary
haven't
Clinton.
yet, but
in addition, we also want to discuss 2 trailers. But let's start with the Wonder Woman stuff, because I'm really looking forward to actually seeing it, because it does appear to be a good
I'll
DC
tell you this.
movie.
Have you seen the animated Wonder Woman movie that came
It's
out
been
a
a
couple years
while.
ago?
Yeah, it's been a while, but
It hits
yeah.
the same notes as that movie, and that's
Oh,
what I
really?
wanted from this Wonder Woman movie, where you hit the notes of this movie. Like if they the same attitude, the same kind of writing, it's as good as that movie. And so I could stop saying that that's the only good Wonder Woman movie that's ever come out, because this one's come out and it's good. And I don't know if it's good because it's just so much better than every other DC movie that's come out, but maybe my standards are low. I don't know, but I was happy with it.
Yep.
Now watch the next DC Universe movie suck ass.
Have you seen it, Angela?
No, to be honest, DC movies,
They suck. Just call it like it is.
yeah, but I don't know. See, I'm one of those
This
people
one is
who
good by accident.
really
It does really feel like it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who kind of misses the kind of kitsch, Christopher Reeve Superman days.
Yeah. Adam West as Batman and so on.
Yeah,
I thought
I thought the Nolan Batman movies were kind of boring and overblown and overrated. Overrated. Yeah, I know. I mean, the first one's okay, but it's all basically the problem I have with DC movies is the colors. Everything is always so muted.
The colored?
And it's just
Gray
colors.
and brown.
Wow.
And greys and browns and black and just everything is always so muted and dull, and it
The movies are depressing. They
well.
overbrooded the characters, and they turned Superman into one of the biggest whiny pussies.
Here's the problem. The Batman
everything now.
One at a time. One at a time. Plip, please.
Yeah, what I think is that you'll find that the Nolan movies were just a different take. Up until that point, remember, we had Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. And that's how badly it got.
Can go bad.
So anyway, that's how bad it got. So the Nolan films were just this fresh, new sort of if this were real mentality behind them, which I really, really loved and enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Man of Steel did it too, and it's like, oh no, don't do this. No, that was good for them.
No,
that was good for them. Don't do it for this.
No, you want to know the worst thing about that movie is there's one scene in that movie that I cannot watch this movie like in one sitting because of this one scene. I have to stop watching at the scene because it infuriates me to no end, and that's the tornado scene.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say
Okay.
Yeah.
A tornado's hitting Kansas. It's causing destruction. and Papa Kent goes to save people from the cars because he's a hero, and that's what heroes do. And then as the
Should I do
tornado is
something?
coming
No.
to get everyone, he stops instead of trying to run back to safety, just to hold his hand out to say, "No, don't save me.
Don't
Save
save me. I'm the
yourself."
father. I have to die.
You
This is
have
the
the
point of the
father.
movie where I must
It's
die
like,
now.
so you are aware that Kent can move so fast that nobody can tell he moved, right? Like he officially has like some according to the
But
comics, some level of connection with the Speed Force in order to actually get to.
But-
He's not as fast as the Flash, but he can get you and bring you under the bridge, and you can pretend that the wind threw you or some shit. Like
the film did actually make out that Superman until after he went out on his own didn't really understand his powers that well. It did explain that.
Like
He could have at least tried, and people
he
wouldn't have
could
been
have
able.
walked out there slowly and pretend like he
Kent
was
shook his
really
head.
struggling to save him. Like he could.
Papa Kent gave him the
Papa
sad shake of the
Kent
head.
could
There
actually.
you go.
Even if he ran through the tornado, people wouldn't have been able to see it very well anyway because of the tornado. And
Why in the
also,
fuck did
you
he
could just
stop?
like explain it with adrenaline. People can do amazing things when they're on adrenaline, you know.
Why
People
did
can like lift up cars to save
It's
children.
not even a
Like
short moment that he turns to put the hand up and say stop. It's a full like
literally-
30 seconds. Motherfucker,
Hand up,
you can't
because
run to the bridge in
I
30
don't die.
seconds, but you have time to put your hand up and tell your son not to save you for 30 seconds. Time that scene. 30 seconds. 30 fucking seconds. Fuck you.
Are you still mad about Man of Steel as well? Did that hurt you?
Yes, fuck that movie. The movie was horrible.
You know, I hate the one thing that did bug me about it was I was in the cinema, I was watching the ending fight scene.
Yeah.
And this is I was just watching the fight
Where they kill thousands.
And I was sat there and I was just thinking, for God's sake, just stop fighting. I'm bored now.
Yeah.
Less punchy, we'll talk. Look, I'm watching a Superman film and I'm begging them to sit down and talk it out.
Well, they are facing the same problem with Superman as Superman faced during the 70s and the 80s. He's boring. He's not.
You can leave it up.
Yeah.
You can make him the goofy Boy Scout, and that's the perfect because then you can make Batman brooding and dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Because he has the contrast of a bright Superman next to him that they're complete opposites in how they do things. And that contrast is interesting because Batman and Superman have always been the ultimate odd couple. But when you make him a whiny little bitch on almost every level, it's like they're trying to out emo each other.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite part was when Superman saved a whole load of people in Batman vs Superman, and he looks really depressed.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to kill himself at every scene in that movie.
You useless fuckers.
I'm hopeless. I can turn back
Super
time.
Eeyore.
By
Lex Luthor is. I mean, Lex Luthor is my nemesis. If that doesn't depress you, I don't know what will.
Well, it is.
He's watched too much. He has watched too much Doctor Who. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The wrong Doctor Who as well.
This is my problem with DC is that everything has been infected with Nolan.
Yeah.
Everything.
That was the thing. That darkness worked with Batman because he's a grittier character and had been dark for a while, and people wanted to see a truly dark take that wasn't campy. But you can't do that with every freaking fucking hero.
That's the problem.
Well, to sort of recap now, Wonder Woman is good. Nolan was good, but not for Angela because she misses the campy stuff. But don't get too campy because that will be Batman and Robin. And don't get too dark with Superman because he needs to be campy. Have I got that right now?
No, it doesn't need to be campy.
The only thing
it doesn't need to be campy.
He needs to do a dark Superman. If you were going to do a dark,
spirited and because the whole point is the symbol on his chest is.
If you're gonna do a dark Superman, or if you're gonna do a different Superman in live action, Why not do Red Son?
Yeah, it just hit me. Red
That
Son.
would have been so good. Why
That
not do Red
would have
Son?
been cool. And
That would have been awesome.
And then there would be a reason for his brooding because he's a fucking asshole in that comic book.
Considering our current political climate, a Russian-based superhero Justice League might not do so well in theaters. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey man, it would build bridges. Building bridges, man. Building bridges.
A standalone fucking franchise or a standalone fucking movie. Why can't we make standalone superhero movies anymore? They need to be part of some fucking franchise. All the time.
The Mummy had we've reached a point where it's not even superhero movies; it's horror movies because the new Mummy movie was supposed to be a part of the Dark Universe.
Yep.
Also, you forget
they
tried to make the Ghostbusters film into its own cinematic.
Yeah, they were trying to make that into the same thing. Everybody wants a Marvel.
Everything's got to be a franchise. Everything's got to be a universe.
Fucking hell.
Well, speaking of Marvel franchises, should we jump over to the trailer that got released this week that we're very, very excited about? At least Artivous. At least Artivous is a little too excited over this, and it's dangerous because
Artivous has got a boner as we speak.
Oh yes, oh yes. This is well known.
Oh, I got a full-on Black Panther going right now.
Oh God,
another Marvel film. Oh good. Be still, mice.
The thing about Black Panther is it looks like they're doing the movie right.
Let's hope so. I mean, to be fair,
the aesthetic
is
very similar to the comics. Yeah, if they're doing the invasion of Wakanda, yes.
It looks like that's what they're doing.
Because that was my. Remember we were talking before about what if they were going to do a Black Panther movie? Yeah. I would love if they did an invasion of Wakanda because Wakanda has never lost a war, and it's a good way to show off the country. And not because the biggest part of Black Panther is Wakanda.
Yeah,
it's all he cares about in the world is his people, his home.
He's a nationalist.
Family.
He's a huge nationalist.
The country of Wakanda itself is a character.
Yeah,
and it looks like they've made that character properly on screen.
Which is awesome.
Well, he isn't supposed to be just a hero, is he? I mean, the whole deal with the Black Panther powers is it's connected to Wakanda and the fact that he is king of Wakanda.
Well, the Black Panther is basically the Pope, the King, and the President at the same time. Their religion is based around the Panther God. The Panther God, you find out later, is basically an alien, but...
As they always are.
Yeah, Black Panther is basically Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, they're not. I wouldn't say Jesus. I would say more like
Superman.
No.
I am Jesus.
I would say more like Caesar.
Oh, Batman as Jesus.
Because Black Panther basically is a character that only cares about his people and looks down on everybody else.
Yes.
Like Wakandans basically, because of the alien technology that they basically were given in order to protect the vibranium and whatnot, they are hundreds of years ahead of us in terms of technology and culture for that matter. So it's always been this funny like quirk where it's Africans that looking down on the rest of the world for being uncivilized.
Yeah. And that's why I say he is very much a nationalist, and you get that feeling from Civil War. Actually, you get that.
Yeah,
they captured
the rest of the world.
They captured him perfectly in that movie.
The only time he actually gets involved with anything outside of Wakanda is when Wakanda is in direct jeopardy of something.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why And he's always been that way as a character because that's his job.
Yeah.
You know.
Or
And
for revenge.
well, that's
yeah.
In the movie,
that's the honor of Wakanda.
Yeah.
You don't take out the king.
Yes.
Because the king is the protector of the people and the protector of everyone. And if a king falls, you're paying for that.
The only thing I worry about with Black Panther, and it's the same problem I had with Wonder Woman, is that
I'm not going to be allowed to see it.
Even before you see it,
We're not talking about politics. Not doing
even before you see it, it's already kind of ruined by all the politics surrounding it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it was like a Wonder Woman. They can't make up their mind if they like it or not.
It's not just a movie now.
Okay. But since we're going there, fuck it. They tried to go after Wonder Woman because people actually liked it. If men actually hated the movie and it didn't do well in the box office, they had the articles already written about how toxic masculinity ruined Wonder Woman, and this was a great movie that you guys should have seen, but you didn't because of the gender. But people liked it, and they didn't know what to do with themselves for like 2 weeks. Like they were trying to come up with like alternate version clickbait articles, like how are we gonna milk outrage out of this? And they couldn't really come up with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they settled on, you only like because they couldn't find people who hated the movie. So there's like, you only like it because you're a misogynist, and the movie's problematic, so the movie became the enemy.
You say that, but I saw a Salon article just the other day that came out with, well, screw you, geek boys, see, that's what it was. That's what they settled on.
They could try it, but it's like
no one cares anymore. No one
cares.
No one's listening.
And I'm hoping that's going to be the same thing with Black Panther, that people are going to see the movie and it's good.
Yeah.
And not care about the politics.
Well, I should
already warn you now.
Yeah, I've already seen people take footage from the trailer and politicizing that. I saw some activists say, "See, this is what Africa would have looked like if the white man hadn't meddled."
Yeah, it's like you do realize that they got
movie.
their technology originally from aliens, right?
Yeah.
Of course not. That would involve actually doing research.
No, they don't know anything about Black Panther, and they don't know about the comic or the history. They're just trying to milk the outrage. And I'm gonna laugh my ass off when this movie comes out, and he's an extreme nationalist that doesn't want immigrants to come into his country.
Yeah.
Which is what Black Panther is.
That will be okay because immigrants coming into his country, well, that's colonialism.
See, that's why the African countries around Wakanda hate Wakanda, because Wakanda won't bail them out of their idiocy.
Yeah, Wakanda.
that invasion of Wakanda is done by the Negandans, the niggas.
Good thing you said it.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
They hate Wakanda because they're civilized and they think they're pretentious and.
Yeah, because they are the educated. I think it's a. I think it was started as a commentary of the sort of, kind of like the character in Boondocks. God damn it, my brain today. It's fried. Huey, is that the
Huey? Yeah.
Yeah, Huey in Boondocks. He is the sort of poetic, educated black dude who embodies that.
Who's above dumb nigga shit.
Yeah.
That's why I always loved the character. He never act like a dumb hood street ass nigga. He respectful. He was respectable. He was in charge. He was intelligent. He was a less pussy version of Batman.
Mm-hmm. Say it though. Wakanda is Black Europe. Say it.
Anyways,
it's more of Black Rome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Black Rome is
the one civilized
That's
area.
That's why I made that Caesar comparison, because
Rome was like the one civilized place in a very barbaric Europe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And People are gonna like jump on this bandwagon and then start buying Black Panther comics and then be like, what the fuck? He doesn't care about Black Lives Matter? No, he wouldn't give a shit about you.
He wants to build a wall?
No, that's the thing. Wakanda doesn't have a wall.
Oh, they don't need
Wakanda
a wall.
has
They have jungle.
ring of death traps.
Yeah.
That if you try and walk into Wakanda without invite, you will be killed by machinations of horror that you've never seen in your entire life.
It's like the Phantom and the Bandu.
It's literally like the history of Wakanda before like they let anybody in or talk to anybody. Is you try and go into Wakanda, and then we find your corpse just hanging from something. Mutilated in some horrible way.
I want to find out how Marvel managed to fuck it up in terms of their comics. Because their biggest problem so far has always been, look at this character, he is really famous on screen now, yeah. So they buy the comic. Why is Captain America Vulcan? What? So they're going to go out they're going to go out and buy Black Panther comics, and they're going to open it up and goes, why is he a Muslim imam? And why is Black Panther?
Yeah.
Why is she an Islamic imam? What?
No, Black Panther has fucked up some Islam dudes before in the past.
I don't think
he's not. He doesn't really. Yeah.
But I thought I would end it because I recommended you guys to watch a trailer earlier this week. The Whatever Happened to Monday trailer. Did you guys watch it?
No.
God damn it. You can't even do that for me. God damn it. No,
don't go the whole cranky.
No, I won't.
Girlfriend route on us, motherfucker.
Anyways, it's a very exciting movie that I should be completely open. I used to go to college with the director, so I studied film with this guy, and he's a talented Norwegian director. This is his second Hollywood movie that he's making now, and it looks freaking awesome. It's based upon the idea that in the future people can only have one child, so it's a one-child policy type of deal, almost like Fortress. But instead, this scientist clones or grows 7 girls that look identical, and he calls them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there's 7 girls, and they each have one day out in the open, and they all share one identity in public. When they're at home, they're called Monday, Tuesday, and so forth. And all of a sudden, Monday disappears. She doesn't come back. So that's the premise of the science fiction Whatever Happened to Monday. And I know I sound very biased, and I may be, but I haven't really liked any of his movies previously. Sort of, I've been fans of them, but it's sort of, yeah, they're cool, but not really my sense of humor. But this one looks right up my alley. This is the type of science fiction I want to see, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Female enslavement. Well done, Jan.
You are such a shill, Jack.
It's just,
yes, he is.
Yeah. Well, it looks very exciting, and I didn't even know I knew he was working on a science fiction movie, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I highly recommend everybody watch it, or at least watch the trailer and see. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we end it? Because we talked about ending the stream a little earlier today, and we're 10 minutes earlier than we usually end it. So
time I had a chance to, because I've been not well recently, so I've been bedridden. Had a chance to finally install and have a go at Titanfall 2. It's really good.
Okay.
There you go. Game review, miniature game review. There you go.
Yeah, Titanfall 2.
I
Really good.
would-
Plip.
I would also like to say that there is absolutely no need at all for an Age of Empires definitive edition. No need.
Are they allowed to name it yet? Are we allowed to say what it is yet? Oh my god, we've been sworn to secrecy over what this game is. Age of Empires, Tilo.
Okay, before we end the stream, I just want to thank everybody who has been spreading the link to my book on Amazon. I can't thank you guys enough, and it warms my heart that 41 people have found it good enough to buy, and also 20 people have read it on the Kindle lending library. So it's very exciting, and it's very fun for me to see it grow.
Yeah. I've also got something. I'd like to put out a little advert here. I have 40 copies of a book called Ismark, and if anyone wants to buy.
Fuck you, Flip. That was beautiful. Anyways, that is it for today's edition of Unsolicited Opinions. We will see you guys next Friday. Buy Ismark the Mark Boy on Amazon. Please, please, please. You're helping me build an empire here. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Later.